Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
And great Monday morning. You are once again joining the Female Solution, and today's show is Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. So we're going to start your Monday off with some motivational information that will make you realize that you really do have everything you need to get what you want in life. Now, if you are listening online, I want you to join this conversation. Give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak. And we also want you to join us for this first half hour on Facebook Live. You can join us at www.facebook.com/thefemalesolution. We'd like to start each Monday morning on a high note because you've heard a lot of negativity, and we know that all weekend long you've heard the bad news. You've heard the news that will make you depressed. You've heard the news that will make you not want to get out of bed on Monday morning. So what we want to do is give you a boost so that you can start your week off right. So, again, you can join us on Facebook Live. And as always, we appreciate those who are with us. And you need to like our Female Solution Facebook page so that you can get our daily notices whenever we are live. And we come to you live on our Female Solution Facebook page on Monday mornings. We'll be here for the first half hour. And then we also want you to join us on Saturdays, 12 noon to 2 p.m., and Sundays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Of course, Saturdays, you will hear from some great business people, those people who are moving that money and circulating those dollars and enriching our society with their work and their trade. And then we here on Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m., we talk about issues woman to woman because we as women, we have a great power that often we're not using. We're the decision makers when it comes to the household, when it comes to the culture, when it comes to the child rearing, which is the future. And so we need to talk about these things. And we'll be talking further about this global conference that we are organizing across the world. Because we can talk to each other face-to-face online, we're taking advantage of that opportunity to reach out to our sisters who are in other countries who are facing some of the same challenges, and many of whom have developed solutions to those challenges. So we want to empower each other by building this global network and enabling all of us who are working towards solutions to work together, to know each other, and to provide what we need in terms of whether it may be financial resources, maybe it's knowledge, maybe it is land, maybe it is skills. But whatever we need, we have it within us to acquire it. And so we want to help our sisters, help us, and help us help them, because we are one family. And we say that every day on the Female Solution Radio Show. So we want you to give us a call, 515-605-9325, and press 1 when you're ready to speak so that we can come to you and get your comments Going to give you a bit of a vision of what's to come this week. We've got some excellent shows coming up, some great new people that are joining us to promote what they do. Gentlemen who are in the building trade, you'll hear from them. We've heard them, saw them on our Saturday show. Well, you'll get a chance, if you didn't write down those numbers of how to reach them, you'll get a chance, you'll hear their promotional pieces, and you'll also get a chance to, if you're in and around the Chicagoland area, to contact them and have them do some work for you. And we want to continue to build that network, because what we're doing is taking back our property, taking back the land that we live on, taking back our communities. And that involves choosing to rebuild. Everything from rebuilding our families to rebuilding the houses where we live. And all of it means everyone needs to be a participant. Everybody needs to be part of the process. So today you're going to hear from our great host, ZeldaSpeaks, as she helps us reclaim our prosperity for 2018. This is a year to prosper. This is a year to take back your power that you have and never should have given away. Don't ever believe that someone else controls your destiny. No one controls your destiny but you. You have the power. You have the power to become whatever you choose to be. So if you look at your life and you see where you are, if it's not where you want to be, then change your mind. That's the only thing that needs to change. Because once you focus on where you want to go, then you'll start going in that direction. But if you focus on where you've been and you don't like where you've been, then you'll keep going back there. You'll stay back there. How many of you are stuck in a past relationship, anger over a breakup, upset at a marriage that didn't work, and you're just stuck there? You can't get past what you think this person did to you and how you believe they disrespected you, and you're stuck there. So as long as you keep replaying what happened, you'll keep reliving it. And as long as you keep reliving it, then you can't get out of it. You can't move beyond it. You can't transform your life to where you want it to be, because you're stuck on where you don't want to be. And if you're constantly talking about how broke you are, then that is where you are decreeing yourself to remain. You are abundant. The earth is abundant. There is nothing that you need that you can't have. But if you believe someone else is responsible for your financial difficulty, then you'll stay stuck there, focused on whatever that person did, whether they beat you out of business, if they didn't pay a debt, if they dishonored a contract, if they didn't fulfill a promise, they left you destitute. If you're stuck there, then you will stay stuck there. You have to take responsibility of the life that you are creating with your thoughts. So this is why we encourage focusing on positive energy. Focus on what you want to happen, and that is what you will make happen. And every day, our wonderful hosts share their knowledge, their skills, their experiences with you as we move toward higher consciousness. That's our goal. That's our intention every day that we come to you on The Female Solution. So we want you to be a part of the process as we change the global consciousness. Each person is like one cell in the body. Now, are you a healthy cell or are you a cancer cell? Are you a cell that's adding to the vibrancy of the body, or are you dragging it down with your negative thoughts? We have made some daring moves this past year in bringing you people that have a different way of thinking, understanding that you as a soul temporarily residing in this body, you're responsible for what you do to this body, your house, and the fact that it is already designed to self-repair if you give it the right things, first beginning with the right thoughts. And if you are putting negative thoughts in this vessel, then you're breaking it down. You're breaking down your cellular structure with the energy of negative thoughts. Whereas if you choose to inject powerful thoughts of love and joy, then you activate the healing process in this vessel that you're living in. So whatever you're doing to yourself first comes from your thoughts. And if you choose higher thinking, you're going to experience greater joy simply because you are choosing life. And this is what we have the power to do every day. So we're looking forward to our Monday host sharing with you some of her uplifting thoughts. And we want you to always remember that the world is getting better. It isn't getting worse. What we're seeing is the ending of an old energy of fear, rebirth of a new energy of love. And so all the people who are living in a state of fear, they're having their fears come to the surface. If you are part of a religious community that has indoctrinated you with fear of hell and damnation, you're going to have to let that go in order to grow. Because you can't even reach the divine mind if you are trapped in fear of punishment. That's guilt energy. You have nothing to be guilty of. You made mistakes in your decisions because you had mistakes in your thinking, errors in thinking. You're not punished for errors. Errors give you the result that they give you so that they can teach you something. So if you don't like what you're living, then change your decision. That's how the universe works. It's constantly reflecting to you what you need to change in order to live in that state of joy. If you are part of a community that is constantly reinforcing fearful ideas that the Creator, the life force that we are all a part of, is condemning you, you have to choose to let that go, because that's incorrect. It's not motivating you to be better. It's only keeping you trapped in a state of fear and looking back at mistakes and staying back there. So choose to move forward. So this is an opportunity for you to choose life, choose love, choose abundance. These aren't just words, these are thoughts, and thoughts are things. Thoughts are energy that create. So if you are right now living in a place that you don't want to live, then think about where you want to go. Don't sit there and think about how bad it is and how somebody's keeping you down and how somebody won't help you and how somebody won't respond to you and how somebody won't give you a job or an opportunity. Think about where you want to be. Envision it. You have to envision it in order for the inspiration to come to you, in order for you to think of how to get there. That's when inspiration comes. When you choose to think of where you want to be, you will be inspired with the idea on how to get there. Wherever you focus your thoughts is where your reality is going to become. So that's the science of creation. The science of creation is the energy that you put into the thoughts that creates the physical substance. So we are here to learn how to manage energy. We're here to learn how to create the energy of reality, the energy of physical manifestation by using the energy of our thoughts. That's what we're here to do. To learn how to master it so that our physical environment is reflective of love and joy. That's what this world is designed to do, is teach us how to master that. So we can only master that when we believe it exists. If you have been indoctrinated with thoughts of gloom and doom, and this is the end time, yes, this is the end. This is the end of that old fear energy and the beginning of the new love energy. And all of us need to be on board. All of us participate in the collective consciousness of this earth. The whole world is one consciousness. And so you can add to the positive consciousness by your thoughts, or you can keep it low with your anger, resentment, fear, guilt, shame. You're adding, like ingredients, and how many do you cook? Well, Okay, if you're baking a cake, each ingredient adds a flavor. Are you the sugar or are you the vinegar? What are you in this cake we're making? In our world, what are you adding? Are you adding the positive energy? Or are you adding the bitterness? Because your ingredient is part of the whole every day. So today, choose life. Choose love. Choose joy. Choose abundance. Look at all the things you have in your home today, wherever you live, house, apartment, trailer home, wherever. Look at what you have. Things that you have acquired with your energy, your thoughts, your activities. You are wealthy beyond measure. All of these things represent the energy that you put forth. And they have value. And you have value. And if you're listening, then you're listening on some kind of electronic device, which means you have abundance, because you wouldn't be able to listen to me if you did not have a cell phone, a computer, or whatever, your iPad, whatever you're listening to. And those of you who are on Facebook, you can join us on Facebook Live on your cell phone. You've got a smartphone. Watch, listen, participate. So this is part of the abundance that you have, and this is what you can choose to enjoy every day. You can choose to live in joy. So if you choose joy, if you project joy, joy will come back to you. And you will always be in joy. Now, things happen. Certainly things happen, and sometimes it's a challenge to return to that state of joy. When someone disappoints you, perhaps something that you thought you were going to acquire and it doesn't come through, and you feel, maybe that you've been hoodwinked or bamboozled or, otherwise deceived by someone that you trusted. It's hurtful. And it's very easy to get to a point of bitterness if you say something, but you can't. Because whatever someone does to you, it's only a reflection of their state of consciousness. It has nothing to do with your work. People who do things to you are really just showing you their state of consciousness. There's only two kinds of people in this entire world, just two. There are those who know that they are an expression of the divine mind, the Creator, the source of life we call God. They know that that's what they are. And so they are free to create because they are the energy of the Creator. They know this. And because they know this, they are able to manifest that which they desire. And they don't need to try to hurt anyone else, believing that in order to get what they need, they must deprive someone of something that they need. They know what they are. They know who they are. They know whose they are. They know that they are a part of the great Creator. They are part of that energy. They know this. And so that's how they live their lives. Now, that's the one person. And those are the people that you never have to worry about. They will never harm you because knowing who they are means they know who you are. And so they're never going to look at you with hatred or resentment or envy because they know who they are and therefore they know who you are. And they're always going to treat you with love because they love themselves, because they know who they are. Now, the other second type of person, they don't know who they are. They don't know that they are an expression of the Creator. They don't know that they are part of the one life force energy of the universe. They don't know that. They're either living in an indoctrination, saying that there's some angry, vengeful God that's going to punish them, and so they live in fear. Therefore, they live in judgment of other people. Therefore, they believe that they must put down other people or control other people in order to be perceived as better than other people. And so they do hurtful things to themselves and others because they don't know who they are. They don't know. So the degree to their not knowing is the degree to which they do harmful things to themselves and others. And it's a reflection of their own consciousness. That's all they're reflecting. So if someone who doesn't know who they are does or says something hurtful to you, if you know who you are, then they have no effect on you. They are simply reflecting their own lack of consciousness of who they are. And you don't need to be angry at them. Send them love. Send them compassion. And let them continue learning. Because they're going to experience the consequences of their actions all throughout their lives. And then when they leave here, they'll get understanding. Now, our job on this show is to give people understanding while they're here. Everybody gets it once they leave here. Once you leave the confines of this physical body, which confines you to the knowledge given to you by your five senses, once you're out of this confinement and you can see clearly, then you understand. But the whole point in being here is to understand while you're here so you can do even greater good and you can be a part of this global transformation of higher consciousness. And this is what our job is on this show, is to raise the consciousness so that everybody is part of that first group of people, those who know who they are. Because once everybody in your neighborhood, once everybody, first of all, your household, once everybody in your household, and then everybody in your neighborhood, then everybody in your city, then everybody in your nation knows who they are, then we're all safe because nobody's going to harm anybody. We won't need police. We won't need jails. We won't need any punitive kinds of activities because everybody's going to be striving to be their best self because they know that they are an expression of the Creator. That is the goal, to raise the consciousness, to enlighten, to shine the light so that everybody understands who they are and why they are here. They are here to learn this so that they can use their own individual, unique expression of creativity to bring joy. That's why we're here. Anything other than that you have been told that indoctrinates you with fear and belief that you have enemies that you must fight and kill, that belief is not going to lead you to enlightenment. And it's not going to give you the inspiration that you need to create your abundance. In order for you to be inspired, to recognize and receive your abundance, you have to let go of those incorrect beliefs that lead to fear. And this is why we are here, to share with you our understanding. And so this day we want you to get greater understanding of who you are and where you're going. So stop looking back. Stop condemning. Stop believing that there are people out to get you and destroy you, because no one has power to do that other than the power that you give. So we want you to choose joy today. We want you to choose abundance today. We want you to choose happiness today. We want you to choose to be your best self, because you truly are a unique expression of the Creator. And we want to share with you this last thought, this story from our Facebook page, Get Inspired. And we find these stories all across the world to share, to uplift your day. This is a story story of a man, an elder, who chooses to use his time to comfort babies who are premature and in the hospital and maybe have difficulties. And what he does, he goes to the ICU. He holds babies, strokes them, and gives them love. At the Children's Health Care of Atlanta's NICU.
It's been wonderful because it gives me something to do that has meaning to it.
He's just a really special person to us as nurses, and our babies just adore him.
He sings to the baby. He gives them love.
It definitely helps, just feeling that comfort, that warmth. It definitely helps them to, I think, grow faster and put more weight on. We're so grateful for him to be a part of our unit and to be a baby buddy. We treasure him.
And that's one person's contribution to the world. And you can find more of those stories on our Facebook page, Get Inspired. That was from the collection of Humankind Stories. And we want to leave you with this thought. You are one person, and you are one out of the 7 billion people on this earth, and you can choose to make a difference in every life you touch just by giving love. This one grandpa who goes to the ICU, the intensive care unit of the hospital, to hold the premature baby and give them love. And love is life energy. And so we call it life's own vital energy, LOVE, love. So give some love today to someone who may just need a touch of reassurance. Maybe you can even sing a song, and you can change the energy of the whole world. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, going to bring you our dear sister, and you will hear words that bring you higher learning from ZeldaSpeaks. We'll be right back. Let's take it.
Good God morning, and welcome to the Female Solution, Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. Thank you so much for joining me this morning as we begin this week on the Roman calendar with the second week of a new year. And as always, we start the day out with prayer and affirmations. And today the affirmations will come from my second book, Inspirational Conversations with Shalomoth Israel. And it says, what does it feel like being you? Before you answer that question, think not about what you do, but how you feel. Do not associate yourself with another being at this point. Simply answer the question. See what it feels like being you. If you don't like the way it feels being inside you, only you can do something about it. There are many sides inside of you. Spiritual, career, education, emotional, physical,
and financial. Which are you most in touch with? Don't let any parts of your insides go without meeting the other. Balance is key. What is not taken care of on the inside usually shows up on the outside. So, what does it feel like being you? If you want to feel better, only you can make you feel better. Are you feeling me? Inspirational Conversations with Shalom with Israel, a.k.a. Zelda Speaks. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed writing it. And I tell people all the time, they says, where do you get those thoughts? Where do those thoughts come from? And I say, actually, they are not my thoughts. They simply come through me. I am the messenger with the message. I allow the pen to exercise its right to the formation of thoughts and ideas, and it does what it does, and it just happens to come through me. So I hope you enjoyed that. The first time I wrote a book and told someone what I just told you, they said, "You're a farce. That's not being real." Well, that's about as real as it's going to get, because I am just a conduit. There is a message. There are many millions, trillions, gazillions of messages that are floating around in the universe, and they come to us in various forms, shapes, ideas, thoughts, suggestions, peoples, places, and things. Did I say peoples? Yes, I did. People, places, and things. And sometimes they show up in forms that we aren't accustomed to shake us a bit, to shake us from our normal way of being and thinking. And sometimes when we don't recognize them, we operate in a state of fear. And I'm sure you've heard the word false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Well, different strokes for different folks. So sometimes you can share those thoughts with people, and sometimes people are not so receptive. So you have to choose who, what, and when, and how you will share the thoughts that you have, because not everyone is on your level. And that's not to say that the level that you are on is better than the level that anyone else is on. It's just a different level. And speaking of levels, I am in the final week of putting my brother to his vessel, his body to rest. As I told you last week, arrangements were being made for my brother Patrick Bradley, a retired architectural engineer from a 40-year career at ComEd, that's Commonwealth Edison, and the Water Reclamation Department. I forgot about that. He is known for his designs in the city of Chicago, well, at ComEd, but most of Chicago doesn't know, because I'm family, and I didn't know that. There are several, there's plenty more, I just didn't know about them. But luckily we had the conversation before he passed on. He was the architectural engineer heading the project for the S-curve, the redesign of the S-curve on Lakeshore Drive, as well as the engineer's room at Sears Tower, and the one you may really be familiar with is State Street. Remember they took the cars and the buses to decrease traffic off of State Street, or they were not allowed? Well, he was the person who redesigned the State Street, with the flowers in the middle, and they took all that stuff down, running down the street. But there is a little bit of it left, but most of it's gone. Anyway, the funeral services for Patrick Bradley are this Thursday and Friday. Thursday at Malik, M-A-L-E-C, Malik and Sons Funeral Home, 6600 North Milwaukee Avenue. And, of course, I had to ask my family why, with so many people on the south and west sides, would they have it so far north. We won't get into that on this show, but it's 6600 North Milwaukee Avenue. It's Thursday, January 11th, and the visitation begins at 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. with informal services there. Excuse me. That's Thursday, January 11th, from 3 until 9 p.m. Visitation and informal services will be held at that location, 6600 North Milwaukee Avenue. And the burial will be Friday, January 12th at 11 a.m. at Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery, 20593 West Hoff, H-O-F-F Road. That's 20593 West Hoff Road in Elwood, Illinois, 60421. So I just wanted to share that with you, and a few things that are going on in my family in reference to my brother Patrick's passing. And coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, I will talk to you about that with Dr. Naima Latif, because when her husband made his transition, she talked about the fact that she was still in contact with him. And when I heard her say that, an eyebrow went up. I did not think she was crazy. I did not think anything other than loving thoughts about Dr. Latif, because I know she is a woman of substance. I know she has a heart of gold. I know she teaches truth. And not everyone is ready, able, and willing to accept truths that are not taught in traditional manner. And when I say traditional manner, I'm referencing to religion, because it is religion that often divides us instead of bringing us together. Now, growing up, I was raised in a Catholic church, and I hated it. I hated it with a passion because, number one, they spoke Latin. I didn't understand anything they were saying. So, like, why am I here? But I do understand growing up in the projects, 3651 South Federal, apartment 907. I'll never forget it. Some of the happiest days in my life, except for Catholic school. I didn't like it. So my mom was a beautician and a nurse and a barber, and she was always working. And she made it her business to keep us in Catholic school because I think she thought that she was providing us a better education. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now, because right there at 39th and State Street, there was a school called Crispus Attucks, and it is still there. So I'm thinking to myself, in the mind of a 6, 7, 8-year-old, why is there a school 2 blocks from our house and she's sending us a mile away and paying for it? Well, when you get a little older, you understand things, and I understand that now. What I did not understand was the policies of Catholicism and how that shaped my life. So as I grew up and begin to understand things a little on my own, by that time we were switched to public school, Crispus Attucks, and I think I did a year, maybe 2 there. I'm not exactly sure, but I know we did a year, because that's where I met my best friend, my whole friend and the best friend in the whole world, Deborah Wright, at the time, and some other friends that I still know 50 years later. And it was an eye-opening experience. Never had attended public school. I was always in a Catholic school. What does that have to do with today? Well, if you keep listening, it'll come to you. It's all about your early upbringing and what you have been conditioned to think. And religion has always played a big part in my life until I became, I'd say in my 40s, I became a little dissatisfied with the way that traditional Baptist teachings were in the church, and I began to look for something outside of that. And I found it in many other different organizations. I was experiencing a dissatisfaction within self, and so I guess you could say I was on a journey, which is where I began to experience with Buddhism. Of course, everyone remembers What's Love Got to Do with It with Tina Turner and her experience with Buddhism, but I don't think I was ready for that, so I moved on. I visited the Baha'i Temple. I had friends and family who were Jehovah's Witnesses, and while working at WGCI Radio, I met a brother by the name of Elia Israel, who was the graphic designer for all the billboards you would see in Chicago back in the 90s and early 2000s for WGCI, Gospel Radio 1390, V103, KISS FM, WNUA, Light FM, all the sister stations. When Clear Channel bought up everything, we were all 6 stations in one building on one floor. Anyway, he was the graphic designer. And I noticed that he was a different kind of being. He didn't participate in the office shenanigans, gossip or whatever was going on. And I was drawn to that kind of energy. And I asked him if he would make a, what's the word I'm looking for? A book cover for me. And he said that he would. And as a result of that, our conversation centered around what message was I trying to convey with the book. And the name of that book is The Passion Principles, Pathways to Purpose, Power, and Profit. And I say that because he said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I'm like, I do not want my picture on the cover of a book. I do not want people looking at me. Now, I'm going to share something rather personal with you because at the time I had identity issues. Going to a Catholic school, I did not like the way I was treated. I did not like the names that I was called. I didn't like me, period. So I would silently pray to God to give me blue eyes and blonde hair because I could see how the children in school who looked like that were being treated. And I wanted to be treated well. I wanted to be treated with respect. And I wasn't getting that at school. So it just brought flashbacks to me about not loving myself. And it's a whole journey. I could take up forever and a day, but I won't. But I had to share that with you as a foundation as to why I did not want people looking at me. And at the time, in my late 20s, early 30s, people were always looking at me. And I thought it was something wrong with me. And it wasn't until, I don't remember who the guy was, but he said to me, you should not feel that way about yourself. You're a pretty lady. People are always going to stare at you. And I'm thinking to myself, I am not pretty. And people are staring at me are crazy if they think I'm pretty. And I look back at those days, and then I look back at these pictures as I'm going over the arrangements for my, my brother's funeral. I'm looking at all the family pictures, and I was like, wow, I didn't see then what I see now. How can I have been so blind? And then the thoughts come that say, girl, you were pretty then, and you're still pretty now. But you have to have a discussion in your head that you can agree with, because your thoughts will run you crazy. Your thoughts will take you to a place that you don't want to be and keep you there longer than you want to be there. So that is an ongoing journey. I have learned to love and appreciate the big forehead that I have been given, the big ears that I have been given, the tiny eyes, the brown eyes that I always denied that were pretty, my big full-figured body. Even as a kid, I was a big girl. I remember going to the store with my brother at the time, Cottrell. We were born 2 days apart, Cottrell Bradley, and he said, one of his friends said to him, hey, man, we were walking to the store, hey, man, is that your new girlfriend? He's like, no, man, that's my little sister, and if you ever talk to her, I'll kill you. And I just thought that was so mean, but I didn't know what he knew. I didn't know what he knew at the time. I'm 10, 11 years old, and these are grown men, and, sometimes men did things to little girls that they shouldn't have. So it was just a warning. But I said all that to say this. I did not love myself. I had an issue with how I looked because I was always comparing myself to other people. And it wasn't until I stopped comparing myself to other people that I began the process of loving myself. I found myself when I began to study under the nation of the Hebrew Israelites. And then I met a brother from the Nation of Islam who literally rocked my thinking world. He opened up doors that were closed to me. He gave me books that I would read voraciously. I knew nothing about sheiks. I knew nothing about overstanding. I knew nothing about what I thought I knew. It was a whole new world. And I now see it as a blessing in disguise. The journey that unfolded in which I was not loving myself, in which resulted in disease, diabetes. And that journey brought me pretty much to where I am today. So I am thankful for all of the discomfort as I divorced myself from all those thoughts. And someone sent me a poem or prose, I guess you could call it, on divorce. And I'd like to share that with you. And it says, my divorce is final. I am divorcing my past, my pain, my doubt, my setbacks, and my lack of faith. God gave me full custody of my destiny, full custody of my calling, full custody of my life. Divorce yourself from your past so that your future can be released. I'm even divorcing those that have come against me in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm now engaged to reaping the harvest God has promised me, taking back what the devil stole from me. Is that food for thought? Well, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share that with you this morning. And coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we will talk about that even more with the transformation that is going on in my family and the transformation that's going on in your family and all over the world. And we'll come back and open up the lines at 515-605-9325. And we have a caller on the line, Mama Z. And Mama Z will be the first call that we take when we come back. And you can give us a call and just press 1-515-605-9325. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution. We'll be right back after this. Good God morning again, and thank you for joining me. Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution. I do apologize. This morning, I forgot to do our morning meditation, so it's 8:04 a.m., and we're going to spend just a few minutes this morning doing some deep breathing because it is essential that we get the organs moving, especially if you don't exercise in the morning. And deep breathing will begin the process of that. But don't let this inner exercise be your outer exercise. We do want to get the body up and moving this morning, which is exactly what I do as soon as the show goes off. I run to the gym. Well, not run. I can't run anymore, but I can walk pretty swiftly to the gym. So if you would please be so kind to sit straight up in a chair, or if you're lying down and that is your choice, please feel free to release anything that is in your hands, in your lap, and close your eyes. And you should be looking at nothing but the inside of your eyelids. And you simply take a long, deep breath through the nostrils, if possible. To the count of 5, inhale. Hold it for a second, and then exhale to the count of 5. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And as you continue inhaling and exhaling and breathing through your nostrils and counting to yourself, think of all the good that awaits you in this day. Inhale deeply. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And each time as you inhale, give thanks for the breath that re-energizes each and every organ in your body, because someone, somewhere, is having difficulty breathing. Someone, somewhere, stopped breathing and will no longer have the luxury of feeling their chests inflate and deflate as they exhale. Inhale deeply. And exhale. This time as you inhale deeply, inhale all of the oxygen that revitalizes and re-energizes your body. And as you exhale, release all the toxins, all the negative thoughts, all of the pain, all of the heartache, all of the turmoil. Inhale another long, deep breath. And exhale, releasing all negativity in any shape, form, or fashion. Continue breathing. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Inhale deeply, knowing that whatever came or is coming into your life at this period is simply a challenge to make you a better you. And exhale deeply, releasing all the negativity, all the stress, all the strife. Inhale deeply, And know that as you go about your day today, it may be a challenging day. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply, knowing that whatever comes your way, you are the one that is equipped to handle that challenge, whatever it is. Exhale deeply. And as you inhale, know that life is in divine order. And as you exhale, repeat those affirmations to yourself. Inhale deeply. My life is in divine order. Exhale. My life is in divine order as I release, let go, and let God. One more long, deep inhale. And exhale and give thanks for the breath of life as it takes you on the journey of this day. You may have your day planned. You think you know what you're going to do, and then life happens. Inhale deeply and exhale and simply give thanks. Thanks to the universe. Thanks for your higher understanding. Thanks for your breathing, your liver, your lungs, your heart, your limbs that may or may not move as well as they used to, but they are still there for your availability. And if you use them as you use your lungs on a daily basis, chances are they may improve, and you give thanks. And as we take our long, last, deep inhale, and exhale, we sit with that thought of just being and giving thanks. And in doing so, we will continue to be reminded to breathe today as fully and as deeply as we can so that we continue to live a life that is full of purpose and passion, because everything begins with the breath. And if you like more breathing exercises, more experiences with mindfulness, because mindfulness is what you just experienced, and mindfulness is simply being present in the moment and not giving your attention to anything or anyone else, enjoying the moment right here, right now. But if you'd like to experience more of that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. So when you go to YouTube, simply type in ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. Now, there are two pages there. One is for my air checks from radio, and the other one is for mindfulness. So be sure to click on mindfulness and enjoy for that. And now I've got to be mindful of you, because you have tuned in this morning, and I so appreciate you. As we go to the line, please call us if you'd like to join the conversation at 515-605-9325. That's 515-605-9325. And we're going to take our first caller this morning, Mama AZ, on 5474. Good morning, Mama AZ, and welcome to Blog Talk, Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. How are you this morning, my sister?
Very grateful. Grand risings to be on this side of the dirt. How are you, my sister?
Thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of this experience.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you loud and clear.
Well, you know, the way that you say Mama Z, you can continue, because it's your vibration. The way your vibration says it is all good. It's all good. So you have my permission. My dear sister, did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
not just a bit ago have a conversation about the marvelous works that your friend did in the city? And was he not a guest on your show?
Who is that?
Your friend who made his transition. Am I hearing you right?
No, that was my brother. And yes, he was a guest on the show. As a matter of fact, he is on the Higher Learning Network YouTube channel, and he's also on the website higherlearningnetwork.org. I think it's about the 13th show. If you scroll down, when you go to higherlearningnetwork.org and click on HLN TV, he is on that show, and I'm so glad that I had that conversation with him just this past summer because he's made his transition now. So, yes, he's on that show. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my. I apologize. So he is your brother. He came from your mom's gate with you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. This is interesting. I'm so grateful because, today, my dear sister, is a 2. 2 represents the wisdom, justice, the scale, going into through the door to other dimensions, and so much more. I am so grateful to be a part of this planetary transition. My friend and my husband one of my husbands made his transition as well. And I was so blessed that Dr. Lateef was in place to kind of walk me through it, because when I was in North Carolina, she came to me in a dream, and so many things happened during that journey in North Carolina recently, about 2 months ago or so. And then when I got back home, I said I was going to go and reconnect, but my body wouldn't permit me to do that. I was having issues dealing with just me. So he called me twice. Charles called me twice, and I couldn't respond. I wasn't functioning. I could not respond. But then I went back and looked on the phone at when he called me, and he called me to notify me that he was transferring. And I added up all the numbers and did the research, and I looked at his Earth day, the time, everything that he wanted to tell me. I didn't want to hear. I didn't really want to know that he was leaving. I knew he was leaving. He had been contacting me for a long time to let me know that he's preparing to transfer. Well, my point being, Dr. Lateef took me to a level with 2 of her shows, and then I verbally reached out to her, and she had a moment to walk me through some things. And my dear sister, let me tell you, I allow her to take this. What was coming through me or being channeled through me from Charles were things that just blew me away. What we must understand, he said to me, is that we are all connected. I'm going to shorten this to be a whole show with all of us. We need to understand that when we come to this life, we agree to these particular assignments, okay? And all of us are connected. We choose our parents. We put our people in place so that we can connect with those ones that are going to be responsible for mating, for connecting, and producing us to get us here to do the journey. He even said to me that my oldest child, he told me about her father, how she chose and had an agreement with my mother to get me in a particular place to connect with her father, to get those electricities moving so that we could bond to get her here, my daughter, my oldest daughter. And then with my second daughter, she said, my friend to me, with my second daughter, my daughter brought her dad again to my mom and rented a house from my mom. And my daughter, my second daughter, her dad was brought from Job Corps to my mom's place to rent a house so that we could connect and produce her because of what she had to learn and the people that she needed to reach this lifetime, my friend. So when you have a reasoning with your brother, ask him whatever you need to ask him, because even this conversation, he knows. He's there. We all agreed, my sister, that this show, the people, Dr. Lateef, all of us, even my husband said Dr. Lateef was all a part of the reconnection of especially melanated people. We chose to come into this melanated body. We chose to have these experiences. We chose to go as low as we could go. This was our way, maybe like an experiment, to see how low we can go, to see how we would intertwine our way back up to source. This is what I'm hearing from your brother. And there's so much that he can tell you, sister. And Dr. Lateef, you're right there physically. She will be able to help guide you to get you to a level if you are not confident enough with knowing that you have everything that you need to communicate with him. He knows this. And one of his purposes is to teach you so that you could teach others how to release themselves from all the bondages of everybody that they've had sex with, who raped them, who did this, who did that, who chopped their fingers off, who pushed them in front of a car, because we all chose these things, my sister. Our soul chose this to experience, and I want you to know this is such a powerful, powerful thing that you chose to come to the family with your brother, and he chose you to come to the family to connect. And he's now in a realm that you must listen and write or tape it, and everything that comes to your mind, don't discard it, because it's a fact. And he's now at a place where you can really, really begin to understand that everything that we have been taught basically is a lie. That's what we hear from that side. So I can go on. Thank you for allowing me to share this, and we must have a show, this, my sister. Give thanks.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I do give thanks, and I give thanks for you for tuning in to hear that I needed to hear, and how I needed to hear, and how I need to listen. So don't ever think that you talk too long. You Mama Z, in my world, you can always call in and share crucial, vital information to help us to continue to overstand. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. And thank you for joining us and for listening this morning on Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution. Did I hear a comment there?
Yes, ma'am. We must do a show. I said to Dr. Lateef, I'd like for her to share that with Sister Viata, what she recorded, and you. It's all good, because this is the beginning of me, of my many selves, the unfoldment. And I thank you so much for this show today. I'm learning to love myself more. To understand that I have another purpose now, and the ones from the other side, if we allow it, it's not crazy. It's not witchy. It's not the devil. There is no such thing as the devil. It is you being susceptible to your fears. And it really bothers me when, somebody says, "Oh, the devil, the devil is in doing whatever to control." No, it is not the devil, people. It is.
I agree with that. I
in
agree.
You. It is that apprehensiveness or fear within you. No such thing as the devil. No such thing.
I agree with that. That term simply came from the piece that I was reading this morning. Maybe I should have replaced that word instead of using that word, but I didn't. But I just wanted to give kudos to the person who wrote it, and I have no idea who wrote it. It was sent to me. But I just wanted to read it the way that it was shared. But next time I will interject my own thoughts at the end of that, which I did, but I just didn't focus on the word devil. But thank you so much for sharing that. Greatly appreciate that, Mama Z. And we will absolutely do a show on just that. Maybe why don't we do that next week, Dr. Lateef? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think that now is the time, and I'm so grateful that Mama AZ shared her wisdom. And just want you to know, we're back on the Facebook Live for those who would like to involve themselves visually. Of course, there's a way you can even connect with your own visual image on our Facebook Live page and type in your comments. We want you to be interactive. We have such a gift in all of this technology to be able to interact wherever we are. see face to face, hear each other anywhere we are in the world. And so this is the time for us to overcome all of those false teachings, as Mama AZ spoke about. We've been taught lies. We've been taught lies about life. We've been taught lies about who we are. We've been taught lies to make us believe that there are other entities that are more powerful than us that are controlling us. We are the creators. We are the controllers. Our own thoughts are manifesting around us. And so, as Mama AZ said, when people blame some evil force, that force is inside of you, and you're giving it power. Because if you live in love, no power has control over you. No one can make you get mad, make you hit somebody, make you speak badly about somebody, make you hurt somebody. Nobody's doing that but your own thoughts, your own decisions. So if we change the way we think, we change our reality. Think about all of the people that you're holding anger towards. And you're holding anger towards them because you believe that they did something that somehow hurt you. If they said something, or if they spoke wrongly about you, if they passed some gossip about you, if they passed judgment about you, you're thinking that they somehow hurt you with their words, and no one can hurt you. And it took me a while to learn that. I grew up in an era where being a dark-skinned female could really cause you a lot of torture in terms of teasing, and I went through that. I went through, I guess, resentment, jealousy. Some of the girls in my 5th and 6th grade classroom, I happened to be on an accelerated program. They promoted me and 6 other students from 3rd to 5th grade because they felt like, we were learning faster, so they wanted us to stay challenged. Well, the girls in my 5th grade class, number one, they resented that I seemed to be the smart girl who was younger than them. And then they teased me very badly because that summer I had, gotten a lot of vitamin D from the sun and was very, very dark. So they were teasing me about that. And they actually became physically violent. And their resentment. Oh, she's answering all the questions in class. Oh, she thinks she's teacher's pet. All of that meanness that came from them. So I experienced bullying very early in my life, and that taught me that when people don't feel good about themselves, that's when they hurt others. They were attacking me because they didn't feel good about their own academic performance. They didn't feel good about their own physical appearance. So I was basically the target for their own self-hatred. Now, of course, as a child, you don't learn all that. All you know is people are being mean to you, and it's very hurtful. But, Sister Zelda, you're talking about learning self-love. I had to learn that, and it took me into my teen years, and I didn't understand my own beauty until I went away to college, University of Nebraska, and all these African men who love dark-skinned women. They love the way I look, and it just made me feel so beautiful. And that erased a lot of that, what was the imposed inferiority complex. And so that helped me to heal in a lot of ways. But many of us as women, as Black women, we don't get that confirmation that our body is just wonderful and beautiful the way it is. Our skin color is beautiful the way it is. Our hair is beautiful the way it is. We don't get that confirmation. We get meanness from a society of people who really don't like themselves, and that's why they attack us. So this is why we have to learn this so we can release anger and resentment and fear that we're inadequate. And this is why we've got to share our knowledge as both you sisters are doing, so that we as a human family can evolve into higher understanding. Like I said in the beginning, there's only 2 kinds of people on this whole earth: those who know who they are as expression of the divine creation, and however you look, however you are perfect in the way you are because you are a creative expression. This is who you are. This is the body that you're living in, and it's beautiful, exactly as it is. And you know this because you know you are an expression of the creation. You are an expression of the Creator. So you love yourself. Now, that's that kind of person. The second kind of person is the one who doesn't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know that they are perfect in they are. They don't know that they're an expression of God, of the Creator, of the divine source. And so they do things to hurt others because they feel badly about themselves. So once you know this, that frees you from anger at people who do mean things to you because you know it's really an expression of their own self-hatred. And this is what we are teaching every day so we can free people from anger, whether it's in a racial group or people who have money or you believe that they have more than you have. No one has more than anybody because all of this is given to us to share. It's all collectively owned. It's owned by our Creator. It is what we have to share. And if we fail to learn to share, then we create poverty. We did this. We made this mess. So we've got to clean it up by changing our thoughts. And I know we've got to take one last break.
And this is true prosperity, Sister Latifah.
Prosperity.
This is true prosperity. It has nothing to do with finances. It's all about the inner self.
Absolutely.
And what you bring, the light you bring to the world.
The light you bring to the world, that's your prosperity. Because you can have all the seeming possessions in the world, but if you're miserable and angry and can't stand people and have no joy, then you are in fact impoverished. It's your joy that is your abundance, because that's all we're living here for, to learn how to live in joy. And
amen.
Yes.
Teach my sister.
Absolutely. So we can take a break, and then I can come back and we can talk about that whole process of understanding transitions, as Mama AZ taught so beautifully, is that there is nothing but life. So when you learn to stay reconnected to the life energy of one you love, then there's no need for grief because they're always with you. Love is eternal. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break.
Amen. Let's do it. Good God morning and welcome back to Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks on Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution. And today we have been talking about prosperity in 2018. Some of our callers, listeners may have been thinking we're talking finances, but it's so much more evolved and deeper than finances. Everything begins within, does it not, Dr. Naima Latif?
Absolutely. And I just want to acknowledge some of our people who joined us on Facebook Live. And hi to my brother Haroon and hi to my sister Asada. We appreciate all of you who are joining us and listening in. And feel free to add your comments as we continue to talk about prosperity and abundance and living in joy. And I'm glad that you brought the conversation. Now we've got a few callers on the line I want to add to the conversation as well. We can bring them in whenever you're ready. I believe we've got Brother Kufi and also our sister Maika as well. And those who are on our switchboard, feel free to press 1. Let us know that you have something to say. And again, you can join us on Facebook Live, www.facebook.com/thefemalesolution. If you want a visual interaction with us today, we've got all the beautiful ladies who are our show hosts and sharers of wonderful, magnificent, uplifting information on the backdrop behind me, because our mission is to raise consciousness. And I'm so glad you're doing that today so that people can start this new year off with the right frame of mind.
Amen. So let's go to the phone and get some calls. Brother Kufi, good morning and welcome.
Hey. What's up, Queen? What's up, Queen, to you? Yes. So you like
good
to
morning.
Take a call?
Yes, Brother Kufi.
Yes.
Hear me?
Go right ahead.
Yeah, hear me?
Yes, we can
okay, I hear you now.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay. You know, my prosperity is, that term that says I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should stop saying that we're lost as people. Because if you ain't got no money, what you gonna do to get somebody? Somebody give you something. So let's give the people their identity. Their identity is in Christ. You don't have to label yourself a color, a black. Cool, you can call yourself black or whatever, Indian or whatever you want to call yourself. But it's what's underneath the frame. It's what's underneath us, and that connects us. That's all I have. I go to it every day. I'm inspired by the word, or when someone preaches, gives me information, it grows the Christ in me so I can succeed in life. We all have that.
Amen.
So
I agree.
we found our identity is in Christ. See? So, let's stop keep perpetuating that we're lost. We're not lost. We've been harassed and we've gotten away from walking in God, walking in the Spirit. We've been harassed. That's why they're trying to stop the slaughter. They're trying to stop, pushing people out of Chicago, and they're trying to stop with the hatred towards us. And I feel it kind of backing off a little bit in Chicago. I've been in Chicago now for 40 years. I see it, that the enemy's kind of backing off a little bit because they know they've had that pressure on us to get us away from our identity.
Well, thank God we are learning, and that's why we have shows like this and people who call in like yourself to share the information so that they can learn the truth.
Yeah, so we're just sharing. We're all a piece of the puzzle. Well, thank you for taking up your time.
And thank you so much for calling in this morning.
All right.
Dr. Lateef will go to our next caller.
All right, we got our dear sister Maika, and your mic is open. All right.
Good morning, Sister Maika. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, and Happy New Year. And, hey, 2018 is starting off with a blast, This is astrologically today. All planets are in direct motion. It's been over 30 years since all planets have been in direct motion in the heavens. So this is a beautiful time to launch whatever you got to launch. It's all forward ahead. A lot of times we think that we're a victim. There is a glorification of victimhood going on in the world today. And no one need be a victim. That's a decision. That's a definition. There is nobody after nobody. We are making decisions about our lives, and we're making choices, and we're presented with the ramifications of those decisions and choices. Like right now, here's an example. Nobody is stopping melanated people from coming together and deciding that they're going to take responsibility for growing all their food. Nobody's stopping that.
Right.
At any point, we can make that decision. We have that right. And it's the same in so many other areas. It's us making a choice to be true to ourselves first, true to our God who created us, and true to each other. And just engage in spreading goodwill, good service, good cheer. That's what the time is. And I'm not going to be much longer. But I was at a friend's house the other day, and she wanted me to see this movie that she thought was really, really funny. Children's Night Out, I think it was. So I was really tired that day, so I literally fell asleep during the movie. But she laughed through the whole movie, and I never felt so relaxed as that, sleeping while somebody is laughing. Isn't that amazing? I think we discovered a new therapy. So anyway, I just want to encourage you all to join me on Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio with our executive producer, Naima Lateef. And right now, we're going to continue that discussion about how we're going to rid the earth of evil, sin, suffering, and Satan.
Amen.
We're going to make them extinct. You know what I mean? Things do become extinct, right?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
They're going to become extinct. That's the plan.
Yes, ma'am. We can make it happen.
Blessings to all of you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for calling and sharing that. We greatly appreciate that. If you just tuned in this morning, we have about another 10 minutes to go here on the line.
Caller, I just want to make sure, because some of our listeners on Facebook want to make sure they can hear the host, so that we can make sure that your voice comes in clear, because you've got some great things to say. I want to say briefly in response to some of the statements. As you said, there's nothing stopping us from choosing to come together. We're in this situation because we were fighting each other. We made this mess. We have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for our enslavement. That would not have happened if we had not been fighting each other. So that was a lesson for us to learn that in order to have abundance, you must share, you must work together, you must show love. That was the lesson. And we're going to continue to go through this suffering until we learn that lesson. And as she just said, there's nothing stopping us from choosing to work together. Kupi mentioned Christ. The word Christ means enlightened. So when we are enlightened, then we are living in love. We are choosing joy. We are choosing to share when we are enlightened. And this is within our power to choose every moment of our lives. So there is no one causing us any problem. We are choosing to not love. When we choose to love, then we will change the condition that we're living in. It's just that simple. And that was the message that was brought by the messenger that we know as Jesus, because the whole point of our living this life is to learn how to love. That's why we're here. And I love you all for listening in and being a part of this discussion. We've got a few more callers. I believe we've got our sister Beata that wants to join the conversation. If you'd like to bring her in.
Absolutely. Bring my sister in.
Grand Rising. Good. You sisters are hot today. Wow. I was just really enjoying it. And then I heard Brother Kufi say something that inspired me to push one. So I said, I was listening to my YouTube University, and I was listening to something about crystals, and the brother said, the word Jesus in French is je suis, which means I am. And that was such an awakening to me, because I took French in high school, and I never connected the word Jesus and je suis, which when you conjugate all the verbs, that's very familiar to me, how je suis means I am. So on a global level, Christ is not the center figure of other people in other lands across the globe. So I think we just have to be more balanced in our perception of what Christ means to one person may not mean something to a Sikh. I have one of my best friends is a Sikh. And we both went through religion. I loved your description this morning, Zelda, about your religious journey through the Catholic Church. It was painful. It was somewhat painful. But it was a necessary lesson for all of us, I think. I was raised in my grandfather's Church of God in Christ. But those were powerful lessons. And now we know the je suis, I am, the great I am is who we need to be connected with. And it's not a figure, a man. We don't want to be, in my opinion, we don't want to be connected with a man. But what does that man teach us? And I think the Christ was always, in the Bible, is always pointing to his Father, the Creator, the great I am, Yahuwah, Yahweh. So I love this conversation, and, we need to continue, especially go into the conversation about who the devil is, because, we've been blaming that figure, that lesson for too long, and I think, it's time to clarify who the enemy really is, and it's not that red devil that we keep talking and blaming things on. So I wanted to say thank you, ladies, for helping me breathe good. I had my breathing session with you, Zelda, so we are definitely connected. We're all one, and I went on Facebook and saw my sister, Naima. So this is a beautiful day. And thank you, ladies, for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of it as well, because there is no me without you. So thank you for being a part of the team. We sincerely appreciate it.
Yes, we are a team.
Hallelujah, Yahweh. And send some of that shine up here, girl. Send some of that sun.
Yes.
We could use it.
It's warming up down here. I'll send some love and warm air.
Yes, because it's warming up here, too, so we know it's working. We receive it, and we thank you for it. Amen.
All right.
All righty. It was that 515-605-9325. We may have time for another call. But in the meantime, in between time, please go to, if you'd like to subscribe for more mindfulness updates, please go to my YouTube channel. And type in ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. And if you'd like to receive the weekly newsletter we send out of information and inspiration, you can email me at zelda@zeldaspeaks.com, and feel free to visit the website while you're there, ZeldaSpeaks.com. And if you'd like to see the videos from previous shows, you can also do that by visiting higherlearningnetwork.org/HLNTV. And speaking of TV, Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 p.m., and that's all in the evening. Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m. on Channel 19. If you can't get to a TV, you can always catch it on the World Wide Web at the website 24/7. So that's higherlearningnetwork.org/HLNTV. Dr. Lateef, were you about to say something?
Yes. Well, I encourage people to go. I mean, we got the wealth of the internet. And so, I mean, Wanda's got a TV show. I've got a TV show. You've got a TV show. We're coming to you live on YouTube, and we're on Facebook Live, and we're on the World Wide Web on our Blog Talk channel. So we're sharing knowledge every day, visually, auditorily, if you're not able to get by a screen and watch. But we have all of these ways to share knowledge, and this is what we do. This is our life purpose. And so we're connected with all of those who knew when they were born that they came here to help heal the hurt. They experienced hurt so they could understand it and then help us heal. So I understand that what I went through in my childhood was to sensitize me so that I would be able to be an agent of healing. Same thing as our sister Zelda. She went through what she went through so that she could be sensitized and therefore become an agent of healing. So whatever you've been through in your life, it was for the purpose of sensitizing you for your mission. That's why we chose to be here. As Mama AZ said, we all made a decision to be part of this transformation, this global transformation. And so those who are transitioning from this life, the veil is being removed, that veil that separates the living in physical form to the living in the spirit realm. The veil is being removed that has separated us, because people always say, well, we don't know what happens after you die because nobody ever came back. Well, now people are coming back. And we're even being able to go to them because it's time for us to remove that veil of fear, that shackle of fear that keeps us allowing ourselves to be abused and allowing ourselves to be oppressed because we're fearing that someone can take our life. Nobody can take your life. You're going to be here as long as you're here doing your mission, and then when it's your time to leave, it's your time to leave. And it's not a sad thing. No more than graduating from high school is sad. It's the ending of a course. So this is what our family and friends and loved ones are helping us to understand when they transition from this life, is that they had a learning experience, and now they're in a place where they can review that learning experience, and now they can live in joy with those others that they also love. And when we leave here, we join those we love. And there is no angry God waiting to throw us into hellfire. The only hell we have is the hell that we create with our own thoughts. And that's mine.
Well said. What can you say after that? You said it all in a nutshell, my sister. Thank you so much for sharing.
We got that call. I believe we got Minister Plump. If he can make his last statements in about 30 seconds before we wrap up, if you'd like to take that call.
Yes, ma'am. Minister Plump, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. We are in Yashalom. That means we are one. That's what Mama D teaches us in that way. And also, I'd just like to say Jesus is a man, and Christ is a man. And this is why we in 2018, and it is all in divine order. I do agree with that. And Brother Kufi, you know, he was right on point when he used the terminology of Christ, which brings us all together in peace, love, and unity. See how the rhyme is now? And you all keep doing what you do, and we're going to look forward to the Honorable Mayor Harold Washington's birthday coming up. And Sister Naima, that's your birthday, you know. And invite the world to peace, love, and unity. And we're going to get there in the whole community. Mayor Washington used to say we must pump the whole community. God bless you. We love you. And keep doing what you do. Sister Zelda, I wanted to reach you. I call you a couple of times, you know, concerning that $5,000 opportunity in life.
Oh, the Amazon. How to make money on Amazon.
Yeah.
I sent you a text. Evidently, you don't text.
You did?
Yeah, I sent you a text. But for those who didn't, you're quite welcome. But for those who did not get it, it is available. I'm going to put it on the website today because with my brother's funeral arrangements, I just simply forgot about it. I'll put it on social media. I'll put it on my ZeldaSpeaks Facebook page, and I'll also put it in the newsletter and other social media. And
all right,
and
Koofy is running for a write-in on Cook County clerk. He didn't mention that, but I just thought I'd give a shout-out to Koofy, Eric James Koofy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate that. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and next week we'll be talking more Prosperity 2018. I'm ZeldaSpeaks, the Mindfulness Coach / Stress Relief Coach. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, peace and prosperity.